Hi lovelies, I wanted to show a drawing project that I did that I'm really excited about. The name of it is Cowboy and Woodpecker, and I think the title alone kind of explains what this is going to be. I saw a illustration of someone riding, like a cowboy riding a horse, and I thought it would be really funny if the idea was expanded outside of just a cowboy riding a horse, a cowboy riding a woodpecker. So I'm just going ahead and starting on the line work, as you see, just building up the large shapes and then trying to get kind of a woodpeckery vibe to the head and the body, certainly adding in the stylistic approaches that I want. You know how in cowboy riding horses shots, the horse is usually rearing up, sometimes on 2 feet, very much the headless horseman pose. I thought it would be funny if the woodpecker had some sort of a dynamic pose that matches that. So I like the idea of having one wing kind of pulled out from the woodpecker's body to kind of show that dynamic energy, and as you can see, a paw up as well, a talon, so it's also kind of like rearing its own body, plus it shows like a dynamic pose that will work well. As you see, I'm drawing mountains in the background to give a setting. I like to put my drawings in a place, especially some of these drawings that I did on the quick. So I'm putting a hilltop just so it kind of gives context to what's going on and gives it a set of piece. And again, these are just sketched lines. This is not about having the final form done. This is how I sketch, how I just make sure everything's aligned, make sure everything looks good. I will add in details as I see fit if I want to kind of go down that path. On to the next stage, which is drawing the human. You can definitely tell that this is a sketch phase instead of a final line drawing. I'm trying to get the scale the way I want it to and see if I can get the body shaped the way I want. Again, with these kind of cowboy shots, it's usually like a dynamic pose of the character holding a cowboy hat or not. So I wanted to get that framed in. Once that's done, I dropped the opacity of it and really started to dial in more of the line work. Again, it doesn't mean that this is the final lines, but it definitely allows me to continue to like embrace the pose without having anything worrisome go on with the design. I would much rather sketch on top of sketches until I get what I want versus erase and just kind of bog myself down with those little details. So this is me working on it, making sure that the character of the man is working for the piece, and I even got the leg wrong a little bit there, but just making sure everything clicks and that I'm not completely off the mark when it comes to getting things the places I want. And I'm okay with messing up, drawing again, messing up, drawing again. So in that case, now this is the layer I'm working with and drawing off of that, making sure my proportions are good, because that's always an important part. And it was so much fun working on this drawing because it's such an aggressive concept. You could just explain it to somebody and they would be like, oh, I think I know what that would look like. Most of the time I don't have drawings that are that expressive. I'm having a really hard time with this hat. If you can't tell, I do not draw cowboy hats often. Oh my goodness. Making sure everything is proportional. I will probably redraw that hat. Let's call it what it is. That is not what I'm looking for. I think I paused on it just so I can go to the face. But it is fun working on drawings that are just so hyper concept that you don't really have to, I don't know, stress too much about what you're going to fill on the page. The content does all the explaining for itself. There we go. See me already fixing the hat. I think me getting the face on helps me a little bit on making sure I knew what I wanted. So sometimes skipping further on down to something you're comfortable with helps a lot. And now it's kind of me tracing to a certain extent. I'm just going over the lines I've already created, making sure everything is where I want it to be. I wanted him to have a nice little cute cowboy vest. So that's why he's getting this kind of, it almost looks like a safety vest right now. But I'm drawing in those kind of finer details, making sure everything works anatomy-wise, and getting it all dialed in. If I have to zoom in, I will. If I don't, you can see how I draw a hand really quick. Then I just move on to the next thing. But I'm to the point now where I can start to, at least for the blacks, I have this part of the sketch all done. I'm just working on little finesses and making sure I don't miss anything, because there are times where I draw something and I'm so enamored with what I'm drawing that I forget a shirt or I forget pants or shoes, or like the socks are not the same. So this is the time where I literally like to pull it back and make sure I'm getting all of the details in. I'm adding in his fancy pants. So this is an important part for me to make sure I'm getting all of the details right, so I don't have to think about it later. All the way down to the cowboy boots. I'm trying to get that cool little tassel turn that is usually on a cowboy boot, like the tip of the boot. Just clearing up all of the layers below it so I can see the final picture. Sometimes I do this when things are stacked on top of each other and I just want to see what I'm drawing at the end of the day. And that's the line work right there. Now I'm just drawing a background to make sure everything looks cohesive. I already drew some of those mountains, so it's getting more of those mountains into the scene and kind of making a backdrop. I've gotten into the habit recently of, when I'm doing line work, to just throw in a background. I've always traditionally done just lines with nothing else going on, but it's been really fun to learn how to do backgrounds and putting my artwork in a space and kind of forcing myself, even if the line work is silly or not very complex, to still just give it a sense of place. And now I'm actually doing the line work. This is me coloring the lines. I go through with the colors that I want to use and redo every single lick of line work just to make sure that the final product is what I want it to be. I know some people do this differently, where they can take their flat gray color or charcoal color that they're using and manipulate the colors accordingly. I've never really had I've never been good at that. So I'm doing what I know how to do. Bada bing, bada boom. That is this. And it takes a little bit of knowing what's on the screen and not letting it get too busy, but I also have some really good color palettes that I've already created that are a guide work for me. I actually love to use the visual, the colors. I like to use the colors that I have as a part of how I draw. So every color, as you can see, is getting its own layer. It's really important to me to have each color have its own layer in case I need to change some of the finer details of the piece. And see, I drew that line, but then I realized I wanted the tip of that to be red to match kind of like a woodpecker's coloring. So I actually stopped myself and reversed back And there are times where I will do that, where I'll be like, wait, I need this to be a certain color, and I'll reverse out and redraw it. It doesn't take much time to redraw lines like this and make sure that I'm respecting what I think the coloring should be. And again, just going through and making sure everything's dialed in. Next, like I said, I'm going to go in with that red, make that red detailing, and get all the line work done for this bird. Once I'm done with the bird, then it's on to the cowboy. So I'm going to let you guys just go ahead and watch for a portion of this and enjoy the vibes. Now I'm done with the line work, and I'm going ahead and going on to coloring the whole piece. We're finally to the part where I get to go through the larger colors and just lay down color. The type of brush this is, with it being textured, I can't do the fill suggestion that I would usually do in this regard. I like that textural leave behind it can kind of give, and if I was to circle around a space and fill it with what you can do in Procreate, it actually makes the corners really jagged and everything in the center a solid color, and it looks so bad. So it's better for me to just do this, go through, brush on every ounce of color, and make sure that it gets on the way I want it to, and it provides that little bit of texture. It's so easy for me to do that, and it just looks good. So yeah, this is where I start to really go through each color. The lines are already dictating to me what the color will be, so I pull up that line color and then I choose a similar color based on that, and now that is going to be the fill color of that object. So that's why for me, choosing the line color is so important, because it is actually driving what color that will be. So I'm choosing colors for my lines that will end up being the piece. And I can alter my fill color as I see fit. It's not like it's locked in set in stone, but it does allow me to kind of choose what I want it to be at this stage. And if I don't choose that line color to be dark enough or strong enough, that is the thing that makes the final piece not work as well. So I have to put a lot of thought into the line work color to make sure it works well for what I need it to be. Again, that's just how I work. It's how I like to get things colored in. So now it is a longer, tedious process of getting everything colored. So I will come back to you when I am further along. Back in. This is now towards the end of the piece. I am just doing some of the last touches. As you can see, I didn't do the background coloring yet. Most of the time I lay down a flat color instead of it having that texture, because it does allow that color to pop really well from the pieces that are colored by hand. So that's why you don't see me laying down a color aggressively for the background right now. I'm just working on the details of the person and the details of the things I'm coloring. Like right now I'm coloring the person, but I also want to note, sometimes, if you can tell already, I don't color all the way to the edge of the line. I do like some of the lines to have some of the color from the background pop through. That's just me and how I like to work on a piece. It doesn't mean that you have to match that or anything like that. I just like, it feels like it's handmade and it feels like it's casual, and I like that aesthetic in at least this piece and sometimes a lot of other ones that I draw. So don't think that that's a mistake. I am actively trying to dodge filling in those spaces. There are times when I do, if I feel like the piece needs it, but a lot of the time it is just letting those little nuggets, those little details persist. And yeah, like I said, this is now towards the end of the coloring, and I get to do all of the last little tedious little pieces that I haven't colored yet to get everything dialed in. Now I'm working on just the final little details of the skin color and the hair color just to get those last small pieces done, and it has been really fun to work on this piece. I loved this concept. It was definitely two different ideas coming at once. You can see now I'm putting on that final big background color to really bring everything together. After looking at it, I think the framing could be a little bit better, so I'm going to go ahead and crop and resize some of this stuff so I think it will fit a little bit better for the focal point in the frame. But that's it. This is Cowboy and Woodpecker. Thanks for watching.